With summertime quickly approaching and those temperatures going up, the less I want to use my oven and heat up my kitchen. So this week I am bringing you 3 different recipes where you're not going to have to use your oven, but they are still just as tasty. Hey y'all, I'm Mandy, and this is Mandy in the Making. It is lunchtime here and it is currently 85 degrees and very humid outside. So I'm gonna go ahead and get dinner in the crock pot so that I'm not having to heat up my oven later today when it's actually like 95 degrees outside. This is a great summertime crock pot meal. It is honey lime chicken. We are going to pull the chicken and put it on sandwiches. I'm gonna make a yummy coleslaw to go on top. It's gonna be so good. Let's get started. Okay, I'm not doing quite the full recipe today since it's just my husband and I that are gonna be eating tonight. So I will have the full recipe linked below. Directly to my crock pot, and I am using a smaller crock pot, I'm just gonna add in a little bit of chicken broth, about a 1/4 cup of honey. I'm also gonna add the juice of 1 lime, adding in about 3 teaspoons or a tablespoon or so of garlic, minced garlic, and just a little bit of salt. We're just gonna whisk all of that together right here in the crock pot. I love this because you don't have to dirty up another bowl. And now I'm just gonna add in my chicken, and I am gonna kind of turn it to coat it in this. And I don't know if I mentioned earlier, I think I did. This is going to be pulled chicken. So we'll be shredding this at the end. Let's pop the lid on there. And this is not my programmable crock pot, but we're just gonna put it on low. But instead of 8 hours, I'm just gonna check it at 3 or 4 hours. That should be all it needs. Now I'm gonna go ahead and pre-make our slaw that's gonna go on our sandwiches. It's very simple. First, to this bowl, I'm gonna add about a tablespoon or so of white wine vinegar. We need a tablespoon of olive oil, about a teaspoon of honey. It looks like an egg. We only need about a 1/4 teaspoon of Dijon mustard. And I'm gonna add in about a 1/2 teaspoon of some sesame oil. I'm just gonna whisk all of that together and we're gonna pour it over our coleslaw mix. This is not an entire bag of coleslaw mix, it's maybe half the bag. And we'll let that just kind of sit in all of the marinade or the vinaigrette all afternoon in the fridge, and it'll be ready for tonight. Okay, our chicken is done, so I'm just gonna take it out and put it in my KitchenAid stand mixer, and we're going to shred it that way. That works so well. Now we're just gonna grab our chicken and put it back into the crock pot.
What's going on, all of you beautiful people? We got some Duke's mayonnaise up in here.
That's right. So Steven is gonna make us a little bit of spicy mayo to go with our sandwiches.
That's right.
Just because y'all know how we like things. We like things a little spicy around here. So he's gonna add some sriracha.
Sriracha sauce. You can find this at your local grocery store in the international aisle.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna be really good.
That's what you need right there.
Now I'm gonna toast our hamburger buns. So I'm gonna put it on the bagel setting so it'll just toast like the inside, which is exactly what we need.
Looks delicious. Here we go. Big old bite.
Get you a big old bite.
Wow, love the flavor of the chicken. Great flavor. It doesn't look like there's a lot of flavor in there, but there is.
He kept asking me if we needed more seasoning. I said, no, I'm telling you, there's
It's not like
flavor.
super overpowering or anything, you know? It's, but it's really good. I mean, it definitely brings out that citrus flavor that's in there with the seasonings and everything. It's really good, very juicy, you know, and all that.
Yeah.
And then the crunch of the slaw mixed in, spiciness of that mayo, tremendous.
And the bun being toasted, I'm sure helps.
Yeah, and I love the toasting of the bun. Perfect. You're gonna need a little extra toasting because of the liquid that's in the chicken.
Right.
Need that. This is exceptional. The coleslaw is magical.
It really is.
Really good. It's fantastic. Goes really well with this.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the same without it. Like you need the coleslaw.
I
cannot say enough good things about this. This is amazing. All the different layers together, like you can't leave any of it out. The spicy mayo adds something to it. The coleslaw, of course, the chicken, toasting the buns. This is perfection. Oh my goodness, such a great summer meal. Okay, y'all, it is time for our second meal. Tonight is another crock pot meal, and I know Steven is gonna love it. He went into the office today. He works from home most days, but he went into the office today, so he'll be so excited to have this when he comes home from work. It is Korean beef lettuce wraps. Like yesterday's meal, we're gonna mix everything in the crock pot and then add our meat to it. So I'm gonna add in 1/4 cup of soy sauce. Now we're also gonna add in 1/4 cup of honey. I should have sprayed this with nonstick spray, but here we are. She's a genius. 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar, 2 tablespoons of sesame oil, and I don't have 2 tablespoons, but I have a new jar. Hang on. That comes out extremely slow. Is this a joke? Let's try that again. There we go. And we're gonna be using 2 tablespoons of this garlic chili paste. This is gonna give it a little bit of heat. If you don't want heat, just leave this part out. Now we're just gonna whisk all of this together right here in the crock pot. I'm just adding in a 2-pound roast. I think mine is a sirloin tip roast. You can use whatever roast you have or whatever roast you can get access to. Stir it around or flip it so it gets coated in the yumminess on the bottom. You could even cut it in half if you wanted to. I'm just gonna leave mine be. This is gonna cook on low for 6 to 8 hours. It is a little spicy, so just a heads up for y'all, but.
Oh, wow, that is so good. Yes, it's spicy. Mm-hmm. What the flavor, though?
What, the flavor?
That is incredible.
I know, it's so good.
Wow, that is good. That's one of the best lettuce wraps I've ever had.
I know. Take that, PF Chang's.
The very authentic flavors, freshness of the veggies on top just gives it that little extra crunch. So fresh. I love it.
It's so good. So one of my favorite things at PF Chang's has always been the lettuce wraps, but I like these better. 2 thumbs up.
I need another lettuce thingy.
So we brought out the tortillas. I really did not think Cole was gonna like this, but Cole is in love with this. We didn't even make it to the dinner table, y'all. We just standing here just eating. We cannot get enough. Please, please, please do yourself a favor and make these. Okay, y'all, it is the 3rd recipe for the week, and y'all know what that means. That means it's Subbie Supper night. If you are new here and you don't know what in the world I'm talking about, Subbie Supper just stands for Subscriber Supper, meaning my subscribers send in one of their favorite recipes and we give it a try. And it comes from Janna. It's either Janna or Janna. I don't know which way, so I'm gonna say it both ways. She lives in Washington. She's retired. She lives with her 93-year-old mother. She said that she's doing great. And this was a recipe that she got from the Washington Post that she adapted for the slow cooker. Fun little fact that she shared with me, she said it originally was a braising recipe that she adapted for the slow cooker. She said pretty much any traditional braising recipe can be adapted for the slow cooker. So that's just a little tip for you. So this particular one caught my eye because it's got a couple of things that we absolutely love. It's using chicken thighs, which we love cooking with chicken thighs, and it has tomatillos in it, and we don't use those often enough. It's a very simple recipe. We are gonna brown our chicken on the stovetop first before putting it into the slow cooker, but other than that, it's straightforward. I did go ahead and trim up my chicken thighs. I've got about 1.5 pounds, a little over that here, of chicken. We are just gonna season it with a couple of teaspoons of ground cumin and then just some salt and pepper. Okay, to get started, I'm heating up this large skillet to about medium-high heat, added a couple of tablespoons of butter, and I've got these over here. The next thing I need to do, I need to dice our onion. I also need to thinly slice this jalapeno and take the seeds out, and then quarter our tomatillos. I may have to work in batches. I'm not sure if all of this will fit in there at once, and that's okay. But we're just gonna brown it on both sides. We're not cooking it all the way through, obviously. No, I think I've got enough room. Okay, now that these have browned on both sides, I'm just gonna remove them to a plate and take them over to our slow cooker. And then lastly, we're just gonna cook our 1 onion that I've diced until it's translucent, and then towards the end, we'll add in some garlic as well. I might actually need to add a little more oil or butter in here. Okay, so I'm just cooking these until they're translucent. I'm about to add in about 3 cloves of garlic minced. And we'll just cook this for another 30 seconds and then head over to our slow cooker. Let's add our onion into our crock pot over our chicken thighs. Now, I did want to mention her recipe said bone-in chicken thighs, but I could not find any. I didn't have access to any, so mine are boneless and skinless. I think it'll be just fine. Now let's add in our quartered tomatillos, our sliced jalapeno, Now the recipe called for pinto beans, and honestly I thought I had some on hand, but I didn't. So we're gonna use these cannellini beans. I'm just gonna drain these first. And then lastly, we need 2 cups of chicken broth. I'm just going to eyeball this. I'm gonna put the lid on this and we're gonna cook it on high for 3 to 4 hours. Okay, it's been several hours. We should be eating in about 30, 35 minutes or so. I'm gonna be making a mixture to go on top of our chicken thighs and tomatillo sauce. This is part of the recipe that she sent me. So we're gonna do that. And then I'm also going to prep some cilantro lime rice. I have made that in a video before. It was this video right here where I did some copycat Chipotle recipes and we love that rice. So I will be sure to link that below as well. So I'm not gonna show you here in this video, but we're gonna have the cilantro lime rice along with our chicken with this sauce on top. We are so excited. Okay, so I've got this large bunch of cilantro. I'm gonna go ahead and pull off enough for this mayo concoction that I'm making as well as for the rice. So I'm just gonna chop all of it up and then just kind of reserve some for the rice. We don't need quite as much for the rice as we do for the mayo. This should be plenty. To make our concoction, we need spicy mayo, but I don't have any spicy mayo on hand, so we're just gonna make our own. I need about a half a cup of mayonnaise. I'm just gonna add in some of this hot sauce. Normally I would do sriracha sauce, but with the flavor profile of this particular dish, I thought this hot sauce would be really good. That's probably plenty. Let me taste that. Oh, that's good. I'm gonna add a little more hot sauce because, you know. Okay, moving on. Okay, now I'm gonna add in about 1/4 cup of cilantro and just stir that around really good. I'm gonna leave out about a tablespoon of what I cut so that that can go into the rice. Next, I'm gonna add the zest from 1 lime. So I'm gonna go ahead and zest that now. And then we will also juice this lime too. You can see it's all collecting here inside. I've learned over the years that there's no point in trying to just zest it over something because it all collects in here anyway. Okay, that should be plenty. So let's add that to our mixture. Gonna stir that in. And now as we're adding our juice, she did say you still want the mixture to be thick. So you're gonna eyeball this and just taste it along the way, but you may not need the juice of the entire lemon. Not lemon, lime. It looks really good and it smells really good. That is so much flavor. That's perfection. We don't need the other half of the lime. I'm gonna put a lid on this and just put it in the fridge until we're ready to eat. I'm gonna go get started on the cilantro lime rice and I will see y'all back here for me in about 20 minutes. For you, it's next. Ma'am.
Oh man, that sauce. That is crazy good.
Gracie Lou.
Wow.
Okay, so you gotta give me some.
It's hard to give you feedback when I'm enjoying myself here. I can't stop.
I know, I wanna eat too though.
It's very citrusy. You know, you got those citrus flavors in there.
Yeah.
That's definitely coming through. But that sauce.
Which one? The sauce
Man.
that the chicken was cooked in or the sauce that we put on top?
The sauce we put on top is really what's coming through.
Okay.
The heaviest.
Okay.
Obviously, the rice that you serve with it, lots of tremendous flavor.
Yeah, we love that rice.
But yes, it's messy. That's what I like about it.
The messier, the better, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna dig in. It smells so good in here, y'all. I wish, like I said earlier, I wish there was smell-o-vision, but I will be back. I'm kind of with Steven, like, I don't know what to say other than, wow. I mean, it all kind of just mixes together and makes the perfect meal. This is so tasty. Janna, thank you, or Janna. I'm so sorry, I don't know how to say your name right. Gracie Lou, ma'am. I know, it's rough, isn't it? Can you say hey to everybody? She comes up here as soon as I take the camera away. Steven mentioned that numerous times to me off camera. He said this would not be nearly as good with white meat. This has to have the dark meat. And I agree. It is so juicy, so tender. It didn't dry out at all. It's perfection. Man, y'all need to make this. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Winter Dinners. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, I would love for you to join my YouTube family. Hit that red subscribe button before you go. And if you're looking for even more recipes, the recipes from today and lots of other recipes are all on my website. It's just mandyinthemaking.com. I really appreciate all of you being here, and I will see you again soon. Bye. That is pleasant sounding.
You got to sweet talk it. Come on, baby.
Oh,
Come
careful.
on.
All right, that's probably enough, babe.
That ain't enough.
Stir it around and see. I don't want it too spicy.
Come on. There we go. You gotta sweet talk it a little bit.
We gotta sweet talk it.
Here, let's not mess up another spoon.
Yeah, just use that one.
Let's be a little more resourceful. We have one power, so we need to move quickly. All right, here we go.
I should have gotten my spatula. Ugh. Will you stay or will you fall? Okay. You know what? Fine. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Winter's Dinners.